Hi guys, welcome to Simon Academy. In today's lesson, I'm gonna show you that what is an angle. So the word angle originates from the Latin word angulus, which means corner. An angle can be defined as a figure formed by two rays or lines that share a common endpoint is called an angle. Let's suppose we have an angle AOB. There are three parts of the angle AOB. The two are the rays of the angle OA and OB, and O is the vertex of the angle AOB. OB is called the initial side or ray of the angle AOB, and OA is called the terminal side of the angle AOB. Angle can be measured in different units just like degrees, radian, etc. So degrees can be represented by a small circle or a number just like 90 degree. Here the two lines or rays of the angle are perpendicular to each other. The two rays or sides of the angle are parallel to each other, making an angle of 0 degree. In this case, the two rays of the angle are anti-parallel, making an angle of 180 degree. Here the two rays of the angle OA and OB making an angle of 0 by completing one revolution of 360 degrees. Here AOB makes an angle of 360 degrees. And the two rays of the angle are parallel. And now we are going to discuss about the types of angles. Acute angle. An angle which is less than 90 is called acute angle. Just like here, AOB is an angle which is less than 90, so we can say that it is acute angle. Right angle. An angle which is equal to 90 is called right angle. Means the angle will be equal to 90. For example, AOB is an angle which is equal to 90, so it is a right angle. Obtuse angle. An angle which is greater than 90 and less than 180 is called obtuse angle. For example, the angle AOB measure 135 and as obtuse angle because it is greater than 90 but less than 180. Straight angle. An angle which is equal to 180 is called straight angle. Here the angle AOB measure 180 degrees in a straight angle. Reflex angle. An angle that measure greater than 180 and less than 360 is called reflex angle. For example, 200 is a reflex angle because it measures greater than 180 but less than 360. Complete angle. When two different rays coincide with the initial point after making a complete revolution is called complete angle, which is equal to 360. So AOB is a complete angle which is equal to 360 degree. An angle is said to be 0 if two different rays coincide without any revolution. For example, AOB is 0 angle because the OB coincide with each other without any revolution. So the angle AOB is equal to 0 degree and is called 0 angle. Congruent angles. Angles having the same measure are called congruent angles. For example, POQ and AOB are congruent angles because both of the angles are 35 and they measure the same sides. So we can say that these are congruent angles. Adjacent angle. Two angles are said to be adjacent if they have a common vertex, a common arm, and two arms of the angle are on the opposite side of the common arm. For example, AOB and BOC are adjacent angle because they have a common vertex which is O. The common arm of the angle AOB and BOC is OB, and both of the angle AOB and BOC lies on the opposite side of the common which is OB. Complementary angle. Angles are said to be complementary if their sum is equal to 90. Adjacent complementary angles. Two angles are adjacent and complementary angles if they are adjacent and their sum is equal to 90. For example, AOC and BOC are adjacent complementary angles because their sum is equal to 90. Non-adjacent complementary angles. The complementary angles that are not adjacent are called non-adjacent complementary angle. For example, the angle POQ and AOB are non-adjacent complementary angles because both of the angles are not adjacent and their sum is equal to 90. Supplementary angles. two angles are supplementary if their sum is equal to 180 degree. The adjacent angles whose sum is equal to 180 degree are called adjacent supplementary angles. For example, the sum of AOC and BOC is equal to 180 degree. So the angle AOC and BOC are adjacent supplementary angles. Non-adjacent supplementary angles. Supplementary angles which are not adjacent are called non-adjacent supplementary angles. For example, AOB and POQ are non-adjacent supplementary angles because their sum is equal to 180, but they are not adjacent. So we can say that these two angles are non-adjacent supplementary angles. So dear viewer, thank you for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos related to mathematics.